Hey, what about a prequel to something? Everybody loves prequels.
I'm not a big fan of prequels. You see, we already know where the story is going, and so there are really no surprises. And I've also found that they usually do not hold up as well to the originals. Star Wars comes to mind here. Now, back in 2018, A Quiet Place was released to theaters. Written and directed by John Krasinski, better known as Jim from The Office, this movie was a smash hit, made $341 million off of a budget of only $17 million. Now, we all know that success in Hollywood equals sequel, so in 2020, Krasinski gave us A Quiet Place Part 2, which was also a big hit. I'm a big fan of both of these films. If you have not seen them, I strongly suggest you do so. A direct sequel to this is due out next year, and Krasinski stated that it would end the trilogy. But with money to be made, it was announced in 2020 that there would be a prequel spin-off film, A Quiet Place Day One, written and directed by Mike Cernovsky, based off a story he conceived with Krasinski. So what do we have here? Is this a film that we needed? Something to add to this world? Or is it just another cash grab? A story we already know where it's going and how it ends. Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for the movie A Quiet Place Day One.
Let's talk.
So our story begins at a hospice. Here we find Samira, a terminally ill cancer patient. She lives in this hospice outside New York City with her cat. Now, she is convinced to join a group outing to a marionette show in Manhattan. While in the city, the group notices meteor-like objects crashing. Shortly afterwards, hostile extraterrestrial beings attack the people. In the confusion, Sam is knocked unconscious. She later wakes up inside the puppet theater with her cat and other survivors. Everyone is quiet, and she is signaled by the survivors to avoid making any noise. Announcements from military helicopters warn civilians to stay silent and hidden until the authorities can rescue them. While in the theater, Sam witnesses the bridges leading out of Manhattan being bombed to prevent the creatures from leaving the island. Now trapped, Sam decides that she needs to get back to her old apartment in Harlem and get pizza from her favorite pizza place. On the way, she runs across Eric, another survivor. She reluctantly allows him to join her, and the two of them embark on a perilous journey across New York City, trying to stay quiet and survive the attackers. So let's start with what works here. The set pieces, combined with the CGI attackers, is flawless. A badly damaged New York City looks real. The aliens look real and are very menacing. We hardly saw them in the first film and only a bit more in the second, but here we see them in both large groupings and individually. They are more terrifying here than in the previous two. Kudos to our director for an excellent job of bringing this to life. The story is well paced, and it never really slows down. Action begins right away, and even when there is brief lulls, the sense of menacing is always with us. The biggest praise has to go, however, to actress Lupita Nyong'o. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. She knocks it out of the park here. Her ability to convey emotions with a look or a movement is a joy to watch. She delivers a powerful, intense performance that underscores the importance of finding hope and joy amid despair. She's already an Oscar winner. I wouldn't be surprised if she's nominated for this role. Kudos also to Joseph Quinn. He plays Eric here. Now, we last saw him as Eddie in Season 4 of Stranger Things, probably the best character in that season. He shows up about a third of the way through the movie, and he provides an excellent pairing with our main actress, giving her character, who we know is dying, a sense of purpose. Look, if I had to criticize anything here, it would go back to what I said earlier. This is a prequel. We already know where the story is going. And because we've seen these creatures in the two previous movies, we already know their strengths and their weaknesses. That, however, takes nothing away from an otherwise excellent movie.
That was awesome!
Look, this could have been a cheap cash-in that killed the mystery of the creepy sound-seeking monsters, but this prequel is, instead of surprisingly riveting, intricately designed, and even touching adventure. Quiet Place Day 1 is worth watching. This silence-driven thriller adds layers of realism to its suspense, and it draws the audience deeper into the character's struggles. It's a prequel that didn't need to exist, but it makes a compelling case for its existence anyway. Well, that's it for me this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.